For our first project this year, we're going to be looking at the artist Paul Klee and some of his modern art. He was a German and Swiss modern artist. He lived from 1879 to 1940. And we're going to look at a few pieces of his art and talk a little bit about him to get an idea of his work so we can create our own work in his style. Paul Klee was influenced by several different types of art. He was influenced by Expressionism and Cubism and Surrealism. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those later this year, but it's just important that you know that he kind of had all those influences in his art. Now, he was originally training to be a concert violinist because both of his parents were musicians, but he decided in that process that that wasn't really for him and he wanted to be an artist. And so he attended the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich. So over the course of his time as an artist, he created over 10,000 works of art. And so we're going to look at just a few of those there, and we're going to create some of that. All right, so let's start making this project that looks a little bit like some of the things that Paul Klee did. If you noticed in the last two slides, several of his pieces, he was using letters and filling in the negative space, which is basically the white space, with color. He was very interested in the theory of color and felt it was incredibly important as an artwork. So we're going to review some things that hopefully you've learned already, and we're also going to talk about how to make his artwork. So let's look at this next little picture. All right, so what it's going to ask you to do here is that you're going to take a sheet of paper and you're going to write your name using all capitals on the paper. Now, we're going to use part of the design theory here of space, and you need to cover up the entire sheet of paper. You're going to make the letters as big as possible. They need to touch the edges of the paper and each other, or the project isn't going to work. So do the very best you can to make everything touch, kind of like this picture here where it says your name. Now, then, after you complete that, you are going to extend and stretch the letters and extend those lines to make sure that they're touching all the way through. Okay, so it's just like this picture shows here. They drop that Y lower and they pull that N higher up. Just make sure everything's touching. Then, if you have a black marker, you're going to trace all of those lines that you've made and make them nice and dark. Now, if you don't have a marker, you can use a black crayon or very dark pencil, or even your colored pencil in black. After you've completed that, you should have a design that looks similar to that picture that's right there that says your name. And then we're going to start filling in with color. And on the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about color theory, and hopefully it's mostly a review for you. We'll talk more about color theory throughout the year, but on the next slide, you're going to pick one of those color schemes and you're going to fill in the holes and the negative white space with different pieces of those colors from that group. So here are some of the groups you can choose from. Okay, these are some of the basic color families we're going to talk about. The first one are the top two, and those are called analogous. And analogous color schemes use the three colors that are right next to each other and then include a tertiary color. So you're going to see right there that you've got the red and the violet red and the violet and the blue violet. And you're going to use those to create kind of a color scheme where you can use orange and yellow green and green, or any of those things where you just will put the color wheel down and you'll kind of look at it and look for the three colors that are close to it and then pick one of the tertiary colors. Then the very other two color schemes that you're going to be looking at are the cool color scheme, which includes your blues, your greens, and your violets, or your warm color schemes that include your yellows and oranges and reds. So we're going to pick one of those and fill in the rest of your picture. Once you're done with your picture, you're going to go ahead and take a picture of it with a camera, and you're going to post it in our chat line on Microsoft Teams so that I can look at that. I'm looking forward to seeing all your good artwork. If you have any questions, I'll be online for you to ask me anything on Microsoft Teams. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Have fun with this art. Bye.